fantastic first game by ROCCAT. Absolutely fantastic play coming out of Overpower, coming out of Rio Yonkers. They all did very good, but it is most certainly CLG we want to look at here in that first game. Let's take it back to the beginning, maybe the Fisho. From the very start, it didn't work out with that lane swap.
Yeah, so, I mean, they get the lane swap here. They pick the Vayne Alistar. We talked about how they have to get level 6 before they can really all in the Corki Janna lane here. So the lane swap, and ROCCAT actually does a very smart thing in the lane swap here. They take the Crooks up top lane because they don't even want to freeze the lane at any point, because they have the Gnar, who's one of the best picks in a 1v2. He's safe, he can jump away, he can farm with the Boomerang Blade, and basically what happens is Overpower is pushing the bottom lane because he knows Aphromoo has to go top lane because we are fast pushing the lane at the moment up in his top side, so he needs to be there to help his Rumble get some farm. And as soon as he teleports away, it's a one-on-one at the bottom lane. Overpower can get all the farm he needs, all the experience in the one-on-one, and that was just such a nice setup. Yeah. And then obviously also because Aphromoo decides to go up and just die for no reason with a flash, just even help ROCCAT more.
Yeah, I mean, ROCCAT just planned out everything in the game. I mean, just from the level 1, just taking double glimpse at the top, and then setting up that whole thing, and then actually Overpower was the super good instinct where the jungler is all the time, and he played very well that game. Like, the way he predicted where the jungler is, very, very good laning. Yeah, but Vayne can't one-on-one now, one of the best 1-on-2, like you said already, so I'm a bit... The Vayne pick was very questionable in this scenario. I think we have to address this because Sivir would have been way better, and I don't agree with picking Rumble and then just going full scaling on the bottom side of the map. Yeah, you have the Rumble and the Jarvan for early game pressure, but also Rumble itemizing very badly, I think, in this game, like going Armguard's first item, delaying his power spike, and...
It's just super weird with the Vayne because normally if you want to run some form of like 1-4 combo where you have a split pusher, you need to have some members in the mid lane who has proper wave clear and who can actually push down a tower. The problem is, in this case, you would have the Vayne split pushing in a 1-4, Rumble, Jarvan, and Alistar. Every single one has to get close to the tower to hit it. There's no wave clear on any of them unless you use the ulti from Rumble. And Orianna has always been a risky wave clear because she has to get fairly close to clear the wave here. And when there's like an Ahri and Elise to catch you out of position here, that could have gone horribly wrong. So therefore the Vayne would have been forced to go into a 5 versus 5. But then you need so much time for the Vayne to scale up and be strong enough, and for the Orianna to scale up. We actually do have a replay as well.
Yeah, we can get that up on the screen right now. And just, well, a moment where CLG actually could have capitalized in that fight, potentially. It was a fight in the top lane. We'll get that replay up in just a second. Then it was just the way they were playing around. All right, then. It's not warm enough under these things. And I'm very objective, so I will take this off. We will get that replay up on the screen right now.
Right, yeah. So this replay here is really one of the weirdest things in the game, because CLG at the moment, all they have to do is wait and scale up. ROCCAT doesn't have any hard engage in this case here, so they need to get picks, and yet it is actually CLG sitting ready to catch out ROCCAT and force a team fight where they are so much weaker 40 minutes in. Dexter, you can just talk what you see and we can just roll the replay.
Yeah, I mean, double lift, choosing to fight. I mean, he's obviously ready to fight, and they plan this out, and then Janna gets caught out, kinda. Very good reaction by Vander, and then they just collapse on him. And then you see Peter getting caught, double lift getting caught out, Woolite doing all the work, zoning him, and now it's actually very good play by him. And now we see a misplay from Jarvan. He uses the ultimate on Woolite when he should have just zoned with the ultimate.
Yeah, so the thing is here, when Woolite, who's very aggressive on this Corki, by the way, he's jumping to the backline again and again in this game here. When he jumps onto double lift here, you have a situation right now where Rumble is on the other side of the Baron wall, and also the Jarvan pick here. The Jarvan can lock down 3 members from ROCCAT in that small bush up there together with the Rumble, keep them there, while Aphromoo, Link, and double lift all take care of Woolite, who's now jumped away from his team. There was an equalizer down, zoning the whole thing. It was perfect. And yet it seems like the shock calling from CLG, super tunnel vision on Woolite. So suddenly ThinkCard, instead of ulting these 3 members and keep them away, he runs away from them, over to Woolite, try and ult him, and actually ends up, because in the Jarvan Cataclysm, Vayne's short ranged. She's very short ranged, and she cannot hit the target. If you're standing in the back of the Cataclysm, and she's standing outside it, she cannot hit him. So she couldn't even finish Woolite, and in the end, it's just a terrible team fight. You should never take it in the first place, and also you need better coordination in these fights for CLG.
I mean, CLG took those fights when they didn't have to. They picked the scaling setup, and yet doublelift just choosing to fight all the time and then getting poked out to like 20%, and then the fight is over. If the Vayne is at 20% every single fight, you can't do anything. And there's not really anything to hit too, you know? You can't hit the front line because now it's just a threat itself, and if he gets the stun on Vayne, Vayne dies instantly, you have the Ari and follow up. Like the whole team setup was just, the execution was actually very bad by from CLG, and also picks and bans. I'm not super convinced. I think ROCCAT actually drafted very well with the Corki pick, and I would have liked to see a Sivir here actually.
Yeah, a lot to be desired from the side of CLG. Let's take a moment to highlight a couple of things out of ROCCAT, because Overpow, once again, we didn't see him on Nara yet, and he didn't only play very good in the lane swap situation, but afterwards he was just playing very well at the end game as well, setting up those fights and make things happen.
Super impressed by Overpower in the top lane so far. The Bruisers are really working out for him, and he's doing a super good job in the lane swaps. He's predicting where the ganks are coming as well, and he's good at spotting if the enemy is like acting, and they're like kind of trying to bait him into a bad situation. No, he stays behind. He knows, okay, there's a high chance the jungler is here, and yeah, the team fights on Nara was great from him. Yankers, I love his build on Elise.
Yep.
Normally, I'm a big fan of magic pin boots on her, but he's going mobility because you're in this lane swap here, and he needs to run around, try and get these picks. And also, again, your early locket, you have the Frozen Heart against the Vayne. Overall, we have, of course, to highlight Woolite as well in this Corki here. Overall, just ROCCAT plays super well.
Yeah, just the way they grouped up too. I mean, they had the Triforce, Sock Boots, Power Spike, grouped up mid lane, took down 2 towers. Just very impressed by ROCCAT's overall gameplay, and we said it yesterday already that today is the real test, and I think they already prove that there's proof enough that ROCCAT is like a top team right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They played very well. Of course, it is a best of 3, so we still have possibly 2 games to come to see, and CLG can definitely fight back. Before the break, I'm going to direct you towards our raffle. That is esl.gg/IEM Cologne raffle, where you guys can win a bunch of cool gaming gear, some headsets, some mouses. So get your butts over there and stay in your seat as well, because our second game of our best of 3 between CLG and ROCCAT is coming up right after this.